Hello friends, welcome to Technopoints. In this video, we are going to learn about SplashScreen API. Well, we already know what the SplashScreen means. SplashScreen is something that we see when we tap the launcher icon of any app, and what we see that is something like a background, full white background, and some brand logo on that. So this was the SplashScreen earlier. Now, since Android 12, Google has introduced its own SplashScreen API. So how does it differ from that? So through this splash screen, we can also do some background operation while the splash screen is being displayed to the user. Like if we need some data that is to be loaded from the network call, then we can make that network call while we are displaying the splash screen. And this can be done very conveniently. And as long as you are still doing this operation, the splash screen stays there. With this type of logic, we can include in the splash screen API. And this is very convenient and easy to use. And the most important reason is that it has a backward compatibility. So if we have developed the splash screen for Android 12, then it is also applicable on the older version of Android devices. It will appear the same. So in this video, we are going to learn how to implement the splash screen in our Android app. So let's get started. So here I am in the new blank project, which is just saying hello world, as you can see it here. So in this splash screen, we don't have to design any separate screen. That is, we don't have any XML layout. We just have to do a very few steps for this splash screen API to work. First thing is to add a dependency. So you can just go to here official Android docs for the splash screens, and here you can get this dependency, and you can just copy it here and paste it here. So as I have already pasted that in my build.gradle file, so here is the dependency, and you just have to, I think I doubled that. Okay, I'll remove one and sync that. So after sync, yes, you are now good to use splash screen in your application. So just close this one, and now we have to do everything related to splash screen in the main activity itself. So here, before set content view, we can just write splash install splash screen. This is the method we will be getting after we uh, add that dependency, and that is, this is the method from SplashScreen API, and we can just click on apply here. So we can directly use the attributes of this install SplashScreen. There is one attribute, set keep on screen condition. So I'll use this attribute and make it opening and closing curly braces. So what is this function? So as its name already suggesting something more useful, set keep on splash screen condition. So this method is going to decide whether we have to redirect user to the main application or not yet. So let's say we have some data to load in our application before our application starts. Then we can load this data, and while till this data is being loaded, we can keep user on this splash screen itself, and after the data has been loaded, we can redirect user to its main activity. So this method takes some boolean value like true and false, basically some condition to check if the data has been loaded. So we'll create some global variable here where it's loading, and we'll set it to true, and we'll create some method here, private function set load time, and in this function we'll be using delay. Here I am just simulate for simulation purposes, I am using some delay. So here you can make actually a network call and get all the data from your server. You can do all this processing in this set load in this separate function. So for the delay, I'll take it as 5000 millisecond. For the delay, we have to use the coroutine. I'll use lifecycle scope dot launch. If you don't have idea about coroutine, then I do have a separate playlist for coroutines, uh, and you can go there and check about which explains everything from scratch regarding the coroutines and different types of coroutines. So I have put the link in the description, you can check that out. So inside coroutine, here I am delaying that after 5000 per second, and after this delay is done, here we are setting this is loading to false, and we are using this is loading here, and here we are calling set load time. So now let me explain how the execution will work. Firstly, the compiler will come here, and before it can reach to set content view, we have put it here, install SplashScreen. When it comes here, it recognizes, okay, this application is using SplashScreen API. So install SplashScreen is called, and apply function, it came inside this set came on screen condition. Okay, we have to keep checking this condition before redirecting user to the next screen of the application. And here one function is called set load time. So compiler will go inside this, as this is a separate coroutine, it will offload this to different thread, and here the thread will make the delay of 5000 millisecond, and after 5000 millisecond this value is gonna be false. So as soon as it reaches this function and lifecycle scope started, the task is operated to different thread, and this application runs in a continuous loop to check if this condition value has been false. Once this value gets false, then it is now free to uh, redirect user to the next screen. So that's what this condition means. So until until this delay finishes, the is loading is true. So that's why the user will stay on the splash screen itself. And after this delay of 5000 millisecond, this is loading value we are setting it as false. Then after 5 seconds, uh, this application is already in the loop. So at one instance of the loop, it will see that, okay, the value of this is loading is now false. So now we can redirect user to the next screen, and the user will be redirected to the next screen. So that's how the splash screen will work. Now, how to design the layout of the splash screen. There is no specific requirement to design the layout, as the splash screen API has some limited design things. So we have to do it everything using theme, that is style. So let's open that themes.xml. We have to define the separate style for that. We'll define a style name. I'll name it as custom splash screen style, and I'll set it parent to that theme.splashscreen. This is an important step because we have to tell the compiler that this custom splash screen, please use this style what I have defined here for the splash screen. So that's why we have to inherit this our own style from theme.splashscreen. Now there are two attributes here. First one is a icon. We have to define. We have to show the on the splash screen. Here is icon attribute, and that it don't show any error here. We can define the icon, but this icon won't show at splash screen because it has different attribute. As the splash screen API also supports animation of logos on its splash screen, so that's why here it has one attribute as Windows splash screen animated icon. So we can, even though we don't have any animated icon, we can declare our icon here in this attribute. So let's create new driver resource file. Sorry, not resource file, vector driver, vector asset, and I'll choose the star here and make it as icon star. Next, finish. So I can use the drawable here, drawable icon star. Okay, on the splash screen now this star will be displayed. And the another thing we have to do is that another attribute is item, or let's do one thing to understand this attribute better. We have to open the Android manifest, and here you can see that by default this style is theme.splashscreen API tutorial. That is the name of my project. So by default this theme always stays in the manifest. But if we tried running now, our application will crash, because though this splash screen is not a separate activity we have created in our project, but in the background it is just like a separate activity. And so that's why we have to set this theme as our custom splash screen theme, which we have just overridden in our themes file. So I'll drop this one, and I'll go to this theme we have created. I'll copy this custom splash screen style, go to Android manifest, and then paste it here. uh, it will require some style slash theme dot, sorry, not theme, custom splash screen style. Okay, now this scene, on control clicking, this redirecting me to the our whatever theme we have just defined. So the attribute is now fine. And here, as the splash screen is not staying overall the application, then we need to tell the Android that after this splash screen has been removed, then what type of theme are you going to use for the rest of the application, that we have to tell to Android. That's why here is one attribute for that: item name equals to post splash screen theme. After post the splash screen is displayed, which theme we have to use. So here we can define the theme which we had seen already existed in the Android manifest. So Android manifest had a theme earlier which was same as a project name. So we will also define display same theme here. Style slash theme slash splash screen API tutorial. So this theme is basically this one, because this is the default theme, and once the splash screen gets removed from our application, then we are for the rest of the application we will be using this default theme. So that's what this theme attribute means. Now I think we are okay to display the splash screen. And now let me try launching the application. Yes, we are able to see this our custom splash screen here. It will stay for 5000 milliseconds, and after that it disappeared. Yes, it is working as expected. But if you see it again, it is not looking very good. So we can change it, change the color of the background. So I'll be talking about the different attributes of the theme. Here in the theme, if we want in my colors.xml, I have already defined these two different colors, purple and yellow. I'll change the color of this drawable to this purple. Okay. And okay, do one thing, I'll use yellow for the star, and we'll use purple as a background. So if we want to set the background color of the splash screen, then we have some attribute here, splash Android Windows splash screen background. So we can double click on this, and we can use this color slash purple. Purple. Yes, this color is here. So we'll now see the splash screen with a purple background and with a yellow star on that. So let's try running our application again. Let's see three. Yeah, it is looking now better as compared to previous one. But if you are again able to see here, the star is not fully displayed. It is something like cutting. Yes, it happens because uh, if you look at the Google documentation, it is showing a different attributes for this one. This is the icon. This icon has some radius. We can see different colors for all of these. By default, the splash screen API cuts out our image in some circular pattern. So that's why it is displayed. So we have to make some changes in our vector drivable file in order to fix this. So we'll create, sorry, a group here, group, and from this we'll choose pivot x, and we'll make some half the value of the uh, x-axis, that will be a width. So the width is 24. So I'll put a 12 here, and pivot y. So this is a height. So height is also 24. So I'll make this 24 12 as well. We just want to make this image a bit smaller so that the splash screen won't cut it. And another attribute, scale x. So we'll set it as to the half, because the scaling from zero starts from 0 to 1, and we'll also make it scale y to 0.5. And now we'll grab this path inside this group so that our image will, yeah, it gone smaller if you are look it. Now that's it we have to do. We can try again launching the app, and we won't observe any image cuts because it has gone smaller, right? Looking good. So this type of splash screen we are going to use. And if you make this splash screen if you make this splash screen on the Android 12, then it will also run on the previous version of Android without any issues. Just one thing I would like to mention here, in the build.gradle, here minimum SDK is 31. So if, as we are adding these attributes, Android Windows splash screen background, Windows splash screen animate icon, so these attributes requires minimum SDK to be 31. If you put your minimum SDK less than 31, then these attributes won't work. So it is always recommended to use this minimum SDK as 31 while you are dealing with SplashScreen API. And for the rest thing, you are good. That's it for the SplashScreen tutorial. So that's it for this tutorial. We'll meet in the next tutorial. If you have some questions, you can put down in the comments. I will try my best to answer those. And if you like this video, then click on like, share with your friends, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. We'll meet in the next tutorial with some another trending Android topic. Till then, goodbye. Happy coding.